How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for stopping by. On today's episode of Too Cheap to Buy the Real Thing, so we're going to try to make it ourselves. We are going to make a little plinking stand target thing. I got these pancakes here. These are a little old and crusty, but that'll do just fine for us. The goal here is to make a row of knockdown targets, so you have somewhere around 6 to 8 targets you can go through like you would at a pistol competition or something. So if you're shooting at distance with a smaller caliber, you don't have to hope that you can hear it or have to paint them every time and see a mark. The target will physically move, so you know that you hit it. So like I said, I got these old pipe blank pancakes here. I got some 3/4 inch pipe that I'm going to cut into sleeves, then weld to these guys. So I've got my pivot point. I'm going to make the rack itself out of some beefy C-channel, which is not in this shot because it is too heavy and too long to put on my workbench. And then continuing in our cheapness, I've got this piece of 1/2 inch rebar to be our pivot pin, or whatever you want to call it. So this will be tucked in that C-channel. These sleeves will slide over this guy, and that'll be our pivot. So once you hit it, it'll swing down on this rebar. I have made a lot of target stands out of rebar in the past, and it is not strong enough to withstand some higher velocity rounds like 5.56 or 308 especially. That'll just chew right through it. But 9mm stuff like that won't do too bad a damage, plus it will be hid behind the C-channel, so hopefully that C-channel will hold up a little bit better. This is also not AR 400 or 500 steel, so it couldn't be used anywho for 5.56, especially green tip or anything that's not hollow point, FMJ, whatever you want to call it. That would punch clean through this like butter. This will not really be for that kind of round. A soft 22 will pretty much just bounce. It'll just, some of the faster handgun rounds like 357 SIG, I've got a Glock that shoots 357 SIG, which is a fantastic round. That 357 SIG will just probably beat the crap out of this, especially if it's an FMJ. But that's alright, because you can always cut these off and put new ones on. And it is a heck of a lot cheaper than making this out of AR 500. So without further ado, I'm going to get to chopping these dudes up. Alright, so that's the majority of the structure constructed here. As you can see, I got my little tubes on the back welded right to my pancakes. Of course, these guys will be more spread out. I just have them in the middle so I could get to the edges. And it is also upside down, so this is not accurate. But basically, you have your pancake like that. And then when you hit it, it will ping and flip over. Now, like I said, that is the bottom side actually is up right now, so you can see there's a little bit of angle to it. It will be a lot straighter once it is flipped upside down. So next thing to do, I can't decide if I want to put it on the front or the side here. I need to put a mounting post with either some kind of stop in it or maybe a hole and a nut on the side so I can have it adjustable. I'm not quite sure yet what to do, but that is next and she'll be ready to test. All right, so there in that last clip, you saw me welding on these top pieces, which are still quite hot. Man, look at them sick welds. That basically just keeps the whole thing from sliding down on our posts here that we are going to drive into the ground. So with that, that completes the fabricated part of the target stand. As you can see, this has taken me so long, I made a little demo version in the process, which worked fantabulously. This one's only for 22 use because it's just such a thin plate and it's not AR 500 or anything like that. Again, look at them sick welds. But with this little nut here and the rebar attached to it, you could also flip it up at least one time and use it as a knockdown target. Hit that side and it would quite violently, oh my god, swing down, and there you go. You think I'm sponsored by John Deere since I keep showing that guy in the background? That'd be sweet, John Deere, if you want to give me a sponsorship. Give me like one of them things that, a gator. If you want to give me a gator so I can drive around, set my targets up, that would be freaking sweet. If any of you guys work at John Deere, let them know. Anywho, demo mode aside, let's go ahead and set her up so we can paint it and also just see if it works. So there you have it. There is somewhat of our final product there. Just ignore my shadow back there. I gave her just a quick coat of paint with what I had laying around the garage. I'm gonna have to stock up on that Wally World quality paint because it's gonna get knocked off immediately. But the stakes worked just fine. Took a 4-pound beater and just hit her straight on the top of these guys. Easiest way to set it up was to lay the whole thing flat, stick the legs in the tubes on the ground, and then lever it up into an upright position, then hit the top of those tubes to drive the stakes in. You know, since this whole assembly is like 100 and some pounds, quite heavy. Good thing I got the guns. And you can see our pivot system back here. We got our rebar tubes over top of it. So of course, when you hit the front of these, shouldn't take a whole lot of force. Bing. Oh. Okay, I'm seeing a fatal flaw with this system here. But there you go. Swing them to the bottom, and they're just a bunch of swinging targets like that. You can hit them, they'll swing and ding, and you know, swinging and dinging. Final step of this process is to take her to the range and light her up, as they say, and see how she does. All right, we finally got her out in the field here. This is how you set her up. You take your two little spiky dudes, shove them in the bottom. You gotta lift up and hammer down. Now these are definitely not test marks from a previous test session. That is 100% not what those are. So I made a tragic discovery that means I'm gonna have to rename this entire video, unfortunately. These targets really wanted it to be a knockdown target idea. Say you knock one over. That's a little problematic there. So unfortunately, instead of getting what I actually wanted, I'll just have to settle for a 8 target swinging pistol target. As I said, it may have a couple previous test marks on there. She holds up just fine to everything. Pretty much everything that can come out of a handgun. 9mm, she's fine. 45, she's fine. 40, 357 SIG. For you SIG boys. This one right here that actually put a good walloping on her. You can kind of see she's a little bulged out there on the back. That I think was a 350 Legend, so I'm kind of surprised it didn't do more damage. Anywho, I got the old 22 pistol out. Let's give her some rings. All right, I'm gonna have to hold you like this. I forgot my super cool looking GoPro headband thing, which everybody knows you're a bad mofo when you got that thing on. So instead, we're just a left hand first person. Got the right hand over here. Oh yeah, there's the old Ruger Mark IV. Got the OCL suppressor on there. She's super quiet. Got the way oversized for this gun Hollison. That's our test rig here. Yeah, this thing is obnoxious, but it's super quiet, so that's all that matters. Let's give her a shot. First, just so you can see how quiet this thing is. she's pretty darn quiet. This is shooting super extra hollow points from Aguila, and most of the time they're supersonic, but out of this guy I don't think they are. They sound pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. Sorry, no quick mag swaps today because I'm only one-handed. All right, let's do what we actually came here for. Pretty cool, right? I'm a little close, but with 22 it's not that bad. All right, we are backed pretty far up now. I'd say that's like 25-ish yards. I don't know, something like that, maybe 30. Let's give her a sample, see how average I am at this sport. Ding. Not bad for one-handed, eh? Oh, big miss, big miss. Ding. All right, just because I'm a cool guy, I'm gonna give you guys a full mag and then a tactical reload. All right, it's time for that enormous wisdom that nobody asked for. That always seems to come at the end of a YouTube video such as this. And for that enormous chunk of wisdom, to you I say, you know, go ahead and even though this didn't turn out how I wanted, it still works. All right, it's not exactly what I wanted to build, but still works. Still a decent swinging target, just not the knockdown thingy that I initially wanted. It was basically free because I had all this scrap. It won't be free, I guess, if you had to buy the scrap, but you work with what you got. And if that's all you take away from this, then I don't care. I don't care if you take anything away from this. I mean, if you're watching it this far, something's wrong with you. Anywho, thanks for watching. I'm gonna do more stuff here, so watch or subscribe or something like that. All right, see ya.